And we are live. All right. So we're back. We're back after, what is that? 2 weeks? 2 weeks of a break. Too many things getting in the way. So we're back. And yeah, let's not waste any time with it. I'm going to bring my microphone close. I bet you I sound far away as crap, and I bet that just picked up hard on
time.
Yeah, I bet that just picked up hard on the freaking recording too. It's gonna come out. Anyways,
What's that noise?
What noise?
I'm talking about you.
Oh. Oh, okay.
You dragging your fucking mic across the table. She made an asshole.
Yeah, that's what it. I didn't actually drag it. I picked it up and set it down, and then I watched the sound bar just freaking, go beat red, and I was like, that's gonna come in harsh.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the introductions. Let's get those good and out of the way. Starting from the top, we have AGTX, the Dragons. And he will be playing. Oh, he's back too. That was something last session that we had to cut short. That was something. He was gone and now he is back. And he will be playing Quill, the human slayer / dragon shaman / dragon totem, really. The spirit of Fenrir, as it were. The dragon god, the red dragon god, Fenrir. And what can we say about Quill? He is the resident tank of the group. He is the, he's the one that if the option is kill it, then it's kill it. Like, he's not so much the diplomat as much as the, well, if we have to kill it, then I'm down for that. He enjoys.
Ask not for whom the sword swings. Swings for thee.
Yeah, it's not who the sword swings for.
I mean,
nice. I like
fair.
that. That's not who the sword swings for. Yeah, well, I mean, Quill, he enjoys a good fight. He enjoys women. He enjoys a good drink.
He enjoys long walks on the beach.
Yeah, Quill is the type of.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Quill is. I'm like, yeah, sure. Quill is
the short one.
Quill is the type that in negotiations, if the negotiations get heated and everybody else is feeling tense about it, should a fist get thrown, Quill will be the one laughing about it, while everybody else may be like, "Oh crap." Well, we really needed those negotiations to go through. You'll look at everybody else's face looking kind of grim, and there's Quill just laughing. That's Quill right there.
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
I feel like I slightly got called out, but he's not wrong.
Well, people need to know.
Sometimes you can't fake the funk. It is what it is.
People needed to know. People needed to know. Then
He's that motherfucker. Catch these hands, motherfucker.
Then we have now. Kassid has their own computer once more. Kassid69 has returned with
Hey, you.
Ayo, with all their memeing glory in the chat. And Kassid will be playing Agargus, the Mycated Pion Mender.
This in the chat. What?
The memes in the chat. Mycated is a humanoid mushroom folk type little being, about 4 foot tall, so about the size of a halfling. And the thing about Agargus is Agargus is a special kind of Mycated. She's it is a sub-race, if you will. They're neither male nor female. They are called androgyny. They are completely asexual as far as plant life goes. Like an actual plant or fungi, they are completely Asexual. I know what yes. I thought I was gonna get away with it too, and bam, you were right there. You quill, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways,
Johnny on the fucking spot.
But Agaricus is also a pion mender, which means that they are kind of like little buff machines. They can heal, they can do all sorts of things. They can put down buffs, and but they do have a pretty awesome defense mechanism, and well, we'll get into that as we continue. But that is Agaricus. Next we have Icy. Who is killing their keyboard right now?
That's just me typing normally.
What is that? 30 words per second? Is that what I'm hearing?
Give me a second. I'm old school. We used to have to fucking type fast.
You'd have made a great secretary.
Still would, but I'm not cheap.
Oh, yeah.
For all those listening, I ain't cheap, motherfucker. I am not cheap.
Next we have Icy Hot _2305. And Icy will be playing Zoltan Heisenberg, the half drow, half human deep druid. And for those of you out there who don't know what a deep druid is, it is a druid, but a different kind of druid. See, unlike most druids who get their druidic abilities through forests and fields and blue skies and rainbows and sunny beams from heaven, Zoltan gets it from below. Caves, mountains, underground, holes, the cockles.
Nice.
That's where he gets them from. The cockles. He is the antithesis of your typical druid.
Say it again. Say it again.
Antithesis of your typical druid. Yes. And Zoltan is the group's wild card. Truly the group's wild card, I believe. I feel like he has earned that. I don't know if he had originally started out that way with that intention, but as time has gone by, I think that is where we're at. Then we have Tempest Inferno, who will be playing Otis Hirokin, our halfling cleric / favorite soul / champion of Obod High. And the thing about Otis is, Otis is not your typical halfling. He has probably been through too much in his lifespan to be carefree and la-di-da about things a little bit. I won't say that Otis isn't sporadic or even that sometimes sped, because he is still a halfling. But Otis is just a painfully aware halfling. He is one of the few halflings that I've ever seen, if I've ever even seen one, who actually realizes that he is quite short. And as such, he's got a little bit of a temper issue when addressing it. While most halflings won't even notice it, Otis will. But there is a nobility, like a noble soul in Otis as well. So, because he has been through a lot. And yeah, that's Otis. That's our guy Otis right there. Then we have Mindoc, who will be playing Mindoc.
It's funny that you never
playing Mindoc. The artist formerly known as. Anyways, and there's not really much I can say about Mindoc at this point. What I can say about Mindoc is he's a high elf, which, means he's, a high elf. Anybody who knows anything about fantasy knows that the high elves kind of have that high elf mentality, you know. But with that said, there's not much else I can say about Mindoc or his past. That won't eventually come out anyways in the sessions, so just stick with it. What I will say is that Mindoc is a wizard, a high-level wizard, and his presence within the group right now is serving to put the group on edge. Is that a fair statement? Would you guys say that it's got you guys on edge a little bit? Let me put it like this. Mindoc, his presence has them wondering, what do you want? What are you up to? So that ought to give you an idea of like who Mindoc is. For the record, Mindoc was with the group a while back before we started recording the sessions, and then the player had to step away, and now he's back. And so a lot of the history there will eventually come flooding back into the session. And then last but not least, we have Android, who will be playing Android. Well, he will be playing Lord Android Farizon of House Farizon. He is a half wood elf, half human nobleman. He's a bard / paladin, which our paladins are prestige class, so it's all killer, no filler, because we play 3.5 and we have that option within one of the variant rules. And the Saint of Corlon Larethian. And thing about Android is, here lately, Android's been through quite a journey as well in life. He started off kind of like a vagabond. Then he became this like noble saint of Corlon Larethian. And now he's a nobleman of his long lost house of Farizon. And in the mix of all that, he's also dealing with the fact that he spent probably a little over 1,000 years or so in the Nine Hells, which if you know how the Nine Hells work, you know that a day is like 1,000 years and 1,000 years is like a day. So he's also dealing with the fact that he's got to come to terms with that and all the suffering that he went through with all that. Yes. And with all that said, I am your humble DM, Lord Pog. And yeah, that's all I got to pretty much say about myself. Let's begin the session, shall we? Let's roll that beautiful intro there.
Welcome back, everybody. Great intro. Yeah, so he cut out for me, so all I heard was, dude.
It sounded like for me too. I was trying to like quickly come up with something about putting it in reverse, but I couldn't. So I was like, let's revert to the dynamic generic YouTube intro person that's like obnoxious.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
What's up,
We got a
Gamer
great story
Nation?
for you today.
So, as a brief recap, you guys are stuck in this place called a Mouth of Madness in the Underworld, which the Underworld, for you Golden Wonders out there, is like the Underdark, only because I don't like to just rip things completely off for my own homebrew campaign. I call where the Drow live and
Never.
the Illithid and things like that, I call it the Underworld.
TM.
Yeah. TM. Underworld. TM. But yeah, with that said, you guys are currently on a mission for Lord Varun, who is the son of Loth, the god queen of the Drow. And while going on this mission, you guys have come across what is called a Mouth of Madness, which is a series of tunnels and rooms that become increasingly maddening as you venture through them. While venturing through them, you guys were summoned by one Hallister Blackcloak, who is kind of a big deal within underworld lore, if you will. Think the boogeyman. And he was currently interrogating you guys as to why you were even in his domain. See, he summoned all of you except you, Quill. He left you, Quill, behind for some weird reason. And as far as you all know, well, no, not as far as you all know. The only one who's picked up on any of it is Otis so far. He doesn't even notice Agaragis. He doesn't even acknowledge Agaragis' presence. It's like Agaragis isn't even there for some weird reason. Mindoc is currently trying to do mental gymnastics to keep him out of his head. Android is doing his best to be diplomatic. Zoltan, I think Zoltan was just watching the whole thing, just kind of like, curious as to how this was all going to go down. And I'm pretty sure Agaragis is still over there just stuffing their face full of food.
I'm pretty sure too.
I'm pretty sure that's what Agaragis was doing. I don't even think Agaragis is really aware that he doesn't even acknowledge their presence. I don't think it's even occurred to them yet.
Well, I did try saying something to him and just kind of didn't even respond, and I was just like, all right.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. You said thanks for the food, and he just acted like he didn't even know you were there. Yeah, that's right. That's
Very
right.
on brand for Agaricus to be like, all right, you're not going to dignify my presence with the response.
yeah. Very, very on brand. Very on brand.
That's fine.
Like, not to even wonder why they're getting ignored, to just be like, oh, okay then.
That's fine.
Whatever.
I don't care. Food.
It's food. And that's pretty much where we ended it, because that 2 weeks ago, I was on call for work, and so I had to leave suddenly to go and fix an AC, and that's a whole story all of itself. But we kind of ended abruptly that time. But if you guys remember, when we ended the session, and I did take note of this because I was like, well, if we have to end the session now, I better remember exactly where we were and the details of it. And that was Hallister was sitting there. You guys were watching him, like, once again, and he's done this several times, standing there, like, gritting his teeth, like he's become increasingly furious before softening again, and then being diplomatic himself. And then suddenly he'd get quiet once more and start gritting his teeth again, like he's almost like he's having some kind of inner monologue, like he's, And so we'll actually start there, because that's the last thing you guys were watching of him. And Android, because you're the one, well, Android and I want to say Android and Zoltan, both of you can roll a sense motive.
Okay.
Are we currently opening a cassette tape over there?
Can't say. Man, I'm messed up.
Nice.
What'd you say? Prostate?
Sense motive.
Sense mode. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. Okay. So both Android and Zoltan. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Zoltan freaking straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, Zoltan rolled a nat 20. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's just a skill, but nat 20. That's
Yeah.
high.
Yeah, that's high enough for that. And then with, and then Android, of course, you pass this as well. But the thing is that so both, and the reason why it's just Android and Zoltan is because I feel like Mindoc, when you became aware that he could read your mind, even with you having your mind shield up, if he so wanted to, you began to think of like random things to try and keep him, you're like the ocean, a brick wall, a dog eating a cat, just something, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Otis is still pondering this whole thing about Agaragis and wondering why, and Agaragis is over there just stuffing their face. So you guys are your guys' predicaments are kind of tied up, but because Zoltan was paying attention to what was going on between Android and Hallister, I feel like he would be kind of picking up on this a little bit as well. With that said, both Zoltan and Android, you guys, at first you're kind of like iffy, like, man, everything we say, like every 10 seconds, it seems like we tick this guy off, are we going to have to fight this like legendary dude in his own realm? It dawns on you that the odds are not in your favor, and yet the more you study his face and you realize that he's gritting his teeth and then his face like tries to relax and then it's like a twitch and he starts gritting his teeth again and looking angry again, and it's almost like he's trying to calm himself down but then becoming like increasingly pissed off again. You realize that maybe he's not actually all there upstairs, that perhaps he's like he's fighting his own voices, like fighting his own demons,
Nice.
that maybe he's got a personality problem, as it were, and
He might be a sweet boy.
well, then once you both realize that, right? And I'm going to say, just because you both look at each other knowingly, it's like you both are paying so much attention to it that you kind of scan around the room, and the both of you just scan around the room and your eyes meet and you realize, okay, we picking up, we're at least picking up on this. And that's when the dread, like you have this silent conversation with just your eyes. And that's when the dread really sets in, because now you realize, oh man, he's this powerful, archmage who might be suffering from dementia a little bit. You know what I mean?
How long has he fucking been here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a lot more volatile than we thought.
This is scary.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, please keep letting the good one in his head win, please keep letting the good guy win, So, with that said, yeah. You guys watch for a little while as he's, fighting his demons. And we now switch to you, Quill. and Cassiophane, who were not invited to this little dinner party that Hallister has been holding for you guys, you know. Quill, you and Cassiophane, who to just keep everybody up to speed on who Cassiophane is. I'm sure you guys remember, but you know, we're just gonna go through it again just one more time. Cassiophane is a drow who works for Lord Farun, who you know, he's slender but muscular for a drow. He's got 2 swords, and he's, you know, got these yellow eyes and this long white hair. You know, he looks like your typical drow. And he's one of Lord Varun's trusted men. And to you Quill, you and Cassiophane, you guys were following the group down towards the forest, how everybody had agreed to go that way. And then just before getting to the forest, suddenly everybody's gone. It's like they just never were. You didn't watch them like poof into a cloud of smoke. It's just like they're there and then they're not. You know, no glitch, no nothing. They're there and then they're gone. It's almost like your eyes blinked without blinking, if that makes any sense. You know? And to put this back into perspective, you guys were traveling through the Mouth of Madness and you came to a room that didn't look like a room. It was like suddenly you were outside, standing on a hill, and with 3 paths that you could take. One path, the path ahead of you, took you to like this town, like kind of like a mimic of a town. Like it looks like a town, like a village, not a big city, not a small little hamlet, but you know, just a good sized town. But all the houses look the same. It's like somebody's idea of what a town should look like, but it's uncanny, like Uncanny Valley, you know? The path to your right takes you up to a mountain range. Same thing, you know? It's mountains and they look like mountains, but it's like somebody's rendition of what a mountain range should look like. And then to the left was the forest. And again, just a forest. You noticed as you were approaching the forest the same thing that everybody else noticed. You watched as you approached the forest, the trees become tighter knit, like almost not very like walking to a bushel of trees as opposed to walking into like a forest, you know. And the trees suddenly begin to stretch unnaturally and grow in size and become towering in front of you. And it begins to look like a dark forest, as it were. And before you and the group had a chance to even enter the forest, suddenly they're just gone, blinked out, leaving you with just Cassiophane. And once he realizes you're the only one that's there, he kind of lets out like a whistle, just kind of like a, and crosses his arms and looks at you and says, "You guys do that often?"
I mean, sometimes. It do be happening more than I'd like to admit.
How come your entire group is gone and you're still the only one here?
Good question.
Strange.
That was not the correct choice.
Says, "Oh, well, that must feel kind of insulting, huh?"
I mean, you're. It's one of those. It's like, yes, but you know that's not always a good thing either. Like it's never. It's kind of 50-50. Sometimes it's pretty sketch.
Says, well,
You know, the more I think about it, it's probably kind of how like creatures when they're summoned, how they feel. It's like, oh, this is cool. I get to go see, you know, old so and so, and then, you know, we're like, hey, order FaceTime.
oh, you mean like, yeah, like if a group of, like, he thinks about it for a minute. And he goes, like, if a couple of cave trolls are running together or something, and one of them vanishes and the other one doesn't, the one that gets left behind is kind of like, well, what the? Yeah, like, yeah, I see.
And the other one comes back all thrown off, and he's like, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing I didn't get picked.
It's fair enough. Says, well, it could just be an effect of this place we're in too. Perhaps they just stepped somewhere wrong.
Possible. Like, that's the thing. That's why when you asked, I never really thought about it as, oh, I didn't. It's just like, either A, they fucked up, or, well, they drew the short straw or the long straw. Who knows? Who's to say?
Says, well, they were ahead of us. Maybe there's like some threshold or something. And then he pats you on the back and he goes, on you go then.
Son of a. So I guess I just kind of like, right?
Yeah. You go walking forward, like, and you reach like the very, you reach the very edge of the forest and you still haven't blinked out. And he goes, well, maybe it's a specific spot. It's kind of,
it's you, Quill. He's just like, bro, I don't think you understand. This shit happens to us all the time. Like, I'm always the guy that goes first.
he kind of, he just nods and kind of like measures his footing as he comes walking towards you, and he makes it to the edge of the forest too, and he goes, huh. He goes, well, perhaps we ought to just enter the forest then, huh?
You sure? Kind of what we were doing in the first place before they decided to open. It's a fucking beard. I'll be back at some point.
Ditch everybody. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be back with a grand tail.
So, you and Cassiophane begin to enter the forest, and then you like hit it, and it's like you're walking into a wall.
I don't have the sense that. Just ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Cassophane's like, well,
really
this is
NPCs,
strange.
like,
Yeah, it's almost like staring through a window. You know what I mean? Like it looks like you should be allowed to enter this forest, yet every time you go to touch it, it's like you're hitting something smooth, you know?
Is it a smooth criminal?
It's like something Wile E. Coyote would run like face first into, thinking it's a tunnel, you know?
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it looks like it should be accepting you guys, but it's not. Yes, Fane's just like, more tricks. Is there any ideas? What we could do about this?
Kind of looks at him. He's like, this is really my area of expertise. I punch things, not decipher things, guy.
Do what? I'm sorry.
He said that equals more of the I punch things, not that I decipher fucking messages type of guy.
Oh. He goes, oh, yeah. I'm a tracker, but not really a puzzle solver myself.
Yeah.
He kind of laughs and pats you on the arm. He's like, how about that though, huh? They left whatever happened there, the two most incapable at this got left behind.
Yeah, it's jolly good time. And nobody's the fucking oh, it's Lethal Weapon, right? Or I think it's like the one with Chris Rock. And they got the Asian dude. Jolly good time.
Oh yeah. Lethal Weapon 4. Yeah. He's like, we should just go get the cops. He looks really ticked. Yeah, let's go. And then he's like, yeah, he killed all them guys by himself. I mean, man, what's he gonna do? He goes, how did he do that? I don't know.
How did he do the thing with the gun? How did he do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then he finally stops and goes, fine. Let's go ask him. And then they go over there and they get beat up. It's one of the best fights in a movie ever, bro, man. Just because it's just like
rolls them, bro.
It's like, it's like the Raid in that sense, where the two heroes are not the greater sum in that fight. You know, the bad guy is the, you know. By all intents and purposes, the bad guy is the one that should be winning here. Yeah. Anyways, though, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, you have a couple of options here, Quill. You can try a skill check of some sort, if you can think of one, or you can.
I'm trying to. I like how you got a skill check, but
Say, does Uquill have any skills that would assist him in trying to figure out what this all is?
I'll intimidate it. How about that?
I'm not even gonna make you roll for that. The forest is unfazed. You like roar at it. You brandish your swords. You know
it should know better. I've got the only two that would be worth it. Is the knowledge of religion.
Is what?
Other than that, I have.
You keep cutting out real bad. I'm sorry. What?
I was looking away to my other stream where my notes are. I'd be knowledge of history or religion. Everything else is like your standard, like spot search.
You could roll a search.
Since this place is moated.
So you begin filling around, you know, around this wall and everything. And like eventually you just kind of pat it and you're like, yep, it's a wall.
That's a whole ass wall right there.
Woof woof. Oh yeah. So
what a thunk wall.
Yeah. Now, Castlevania has some skills. He's got some tracking skills and things like that. And you can employ him to try and do something as well. There's another option. Or you can take 10, which means we cut back to the other players, and while that's happening, like over time of just sitting there pondering it, you guys will figure it out.
Yeah, I'll just start like poking at it. Take my 10.
Okay.
See, there was this thing one time, like he just starts hitting with the rendition of when we got whatchamacallit, when we met the true V1.
So you just start telling him stories.
Yeah. He's poking at the wall while he's trying to figure it. He's like, yeah, there was this one time we get sucked away, and then me and the little one, yeah, it's crazy.
And then there's just something random that he says during it that gets captured. Like, you know what? I think that might be it.
Yeah. It's gonna be something like that. Yeah. So while Quill and Cassifate are trying to figure all that out, we go back to you guys, who are to the rest of the party, who are still sitting there watching as Alistair sits there and has some kind of internal battle. And then finally you watch his fists like squeeze so tightly. And you watch his magical energy, his hands begin to glow with magical energy. And you think, Android and Zoltan, you guys think to yourselves, oh, here we go. Here we go. And then his hands release and the energy fades and his face softens again. And he looks up at you guys and blinks for a minute. He says, I'm terribly sorry. What were we talking about again? Ah, yes. Why have you come into my domain then? Why did your friend come and scout my home? And if you remember, he's referring to when you, Quill, Agaragis, and Dodd found his home originally, but he only recognized you, Quill, and Yucca as being there. He never even realized that Dodd or Agaragis were there.
That's right. I remember that now.
Well, that's
Oh yeah. Technically,
Okay.
you, Quill, this is your fault. By the way. Yeah.
Can't believe you.
I'll allow
That's
it.
right. That's right.
He's like, what
I'll
were
fucking
they?
allow it.
What was he doing here with his magical beast?
Android's going to think about it for a moment. Because you can tell that he's clearly changed his demeanor, correct? You know, like,
Yeah, he softened
at
up
the very
again.
least. I don't know exactly what's happened, but he's clearly changed his demeanor.
Correct.
He's nicer, it seems.
Mm-hmm. He's that formal, cordial self that when he first greeted you all. Yes.
Right. Okay. So Android's gonna be like, well, as I said, I don't believe he formally mentioned it to me outside of just a general weariness. I don't think he necessarily meant to tread too far into your domain. I think it was more of a like a child treads into an adult's lawn and they're reprimanded for, stepping on the flowers. And he kind of bows. He's like, he was warned to be weary, so when he realized it was you, I believe, he turned back so as to not further transgress in your domain,
He says, I see. So you're saying it was an accident?
To put it shortly, yes. I believe it was an accident, but I don't think he meant to cross into your domain exactly. No. I think he was trying to avoid that as much as he could so that he did not acquire your wrath,
Aha, I see. And for a minute there, you can see his eyes turn black again, as if he's about to go through another one of his deals, but you faintly hear him, it's not even that faint. I'm not gonna make anybody roll for this. Even though he thinks he's being discreet, he's not being as discreet as he thinks he is. And he says,
Right.
No, not now. Not now. He says,
Yeesh.
says, I believe you. He says, certainly, if he had any ill will, he would have attempted something foolishly, which would have, of course, ended in his demise. And he kind of chuckles to himself about that. He's like, But yes, you are capable, are you not?
I would like to think so, but I guess it depends on what you mean. Capable of what?
This is quite dangerous. He says, certainly a man who would travel into my domain, whether it be on purpose or by accident. When I tried to keep him here, he found a way to escape. Meaning that he is quite capable, and a man that capable wouldn't travel with others who aren't equally capable. And he looks from you, Android, to you, Mindoc, to you, Zoltan, to you, Otis, and then he doesn't look at Agaragis at all.
Oh.
No.
You don't.
Do I notice that? I guess.
Roll me a spot.
Okay.
Do I notice this? Or doesn't matter?
Roll a sense motive, Agaragis.
But Otis need to roll for it since he already knew about it, or
You can, Otis, if you'd like. Go ahead and roll me a spot on that one, Otis. Mindoc is still over there, just like, these are a few of my favorite things, just singing in his head.
Yeah.
yeah, like, he is just
Take a note of like the things he deems important as best he can, but like it's not really. He's not strung up on why he doesn't care about looking.
right,
Yeah.
right. Android, you don't actually notice that at all.
Nice.
You're still just so focused on the fact that this dude is quite possibly a psychopath and a quite powerful one at that, you know.
Gangster.
That, you know, you're just watching him like, what's he doing? What's he doing? Oh, he's looking. Why is he looking? You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
Otis, you don't happen to notice that he doesn't glance at Agaragis, but you're still already aware of the fact that he didn't notice Agaragis, that it doesn't really change your opinion of this matter, you know? However, Agaragis, you have stopped stuffing your face long enough that when he's looking around, you kind of perk up like, oh, he's looking at everybody, and you notice that he does not even look in your direction. You actually take note of the fact that, and the more you get to thinking about it, the more you realize he has not paid any attention to me since I've been here. He addressed everyone, but it's like he doesn't even see me. And the second that occurs to you, your biology isn't like that of a square. No. Your biology, see, a pimp's love is not like that of a square. No, your biology is different, right? Like, you're not used to like hearing your heartbeat, for instance, in your ears and things like that. Like, you don't pump blood and stuff like that, right? And yet in your own ears, you hear what is the equivalent of what should be a heartbeat. Like, and the second that happens, your vision kind of blurs for a minute and everything just kind of swirls, not directly, but in your peripherals, everything just blurs for a second and swirls and then like straightens out almost into fine lines. And you just kind of tense up for a minute. You feel as if your body is trying to tell you something that you don't quite understand yet. Indeed. But yeah, he looks around at everybody and he says he wouldn't travel with the incapable. Oh, no. I think you all are quite capable. Perhaps capable enough to assist me in a matter, a matter of importance to me.
Oh,
He says, yes. It is no surprise that most don't think me real. In fact, none of you probably thought I was real until you saw me. And he motions at Zoltan and he goes, and I know your kind tell scary stories of me as if I'm some aberration. A warning story. Don't travel out too far away from the Drow City or Hallister Blackcloak will get you and eat your soul. I do love that.
A cuckoo.
He says,
Son of a bitch, a kukui!
He says, I'm not.
I knew that would get him acted up.
He goes, I'm not familiar with your filthy drow language. But no, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
wow.
He says, yes, quite. He says, the monster under your bed, the one that hides in your closet. Yes, the one just outside in the shadows, waiting to pounce on you. Yes, all those things. But no. I prefer my solitude. And yet, there is one who has appeared in my domain who threatens that solitude, who I fear's abilities may be comparable to mine. He heralds himself as a drow, and he looks over at you now, Zoltan, with like stern eyes, as if this is your fault. Just the fact that you're half drow, this is just your fault somehow, you know? Says he heralds himself as a drow. But I fear that he is more, and I don't know. He has been in talks with Lolth. And they think that I can't see. They think that I don't know. And yet I fear that he does. I think he is aware of. I think he's aware of the fact that I know. And I think that he knows I know. Which means that I know that that he knows that I know. What they both think that I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
I think so. And Rick just kind of, scratches his cheek nervously, afraid to be like, no, I don't.
Yeah, no, I would just gonna be like, no, I don't.
Nice.
He looks over at you, Otis, just looks dead at you, and he says, he is a deceiver. He talks with Loth as if he wants to make some kind of bargain with her. And yet, he does not let her know that I am aware of her treachery. As if I'm not aware that I know that she is trying to usurp my domain. That is what I'm telling you.
Got it.
And he is aware of this. He is aware that I know. It is almost like he could care less.
You know.
We can't have that now, can we?
He says, certainly not. And he nods an approval in your direction again, Otis. Otis, you are the only one who's made him like soften up, like to such a point that like for a minute there, it's almost like he shows his age, which is kind of unfathomable in your mind, you know? He's like, certainly not. We cannot have that. He says he wages wars topside right now. He says, in the great desert. Which I will allow everybody to roll a listen real quick to see if you're catching exactly what he's laying down.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen. Yeah, everybody roll a listen.
I think so, but at the same time, apparently not.
What is it? I have no clue on.
It's a sliding scale for everybody. It's dependent upon something. So, good grief.
What you're saying is they know nothing.
I certainly don't.
Well, Otis.
It's been a minute, so just reiterating, ignore the pluses.
Oh yeah, Otis didn't pick up on it, and neither did Agaragis actually. Oh no, Agaragis picked up on it. Who didn't? Who
I was
else?
about to say, wait.
Wait
yeah,
a damn minute.
yeah, neither did Android. But yeah, Otis,
Yeah,
Zoltan,
heard that.
and Otis, Zoltan, and Agaragis did pick up on it. It and Mindoc, because it is a sliding scale. You know what I'm saying? It's mainly
I
based.
effectively rolled a 4.
Yeah, it's mainly based upon like your ability. Yeah, like if I just put a straight DC check, then some of you couldn't hope to. You see what I'm saying? So I have to do it according to your guys' strengths. Anyways, don't worry about it. But yeah.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah. So he's saying this. He's like, he wages the wars topside in the great desert, trying to usurp a god king. Why? Because he acts like freedom is the way. But what he doesn't understand, and what those who follow him don't understand, is that they are just pawns because he's here for something more. And when he says that, topside, the great desert, Agaragis, you feel like you should be in the East Underworld, which means topside should technically be, you feel like you should be in the West Underworld, which means topside should be the continent of Siren. Same thing with you, Zoltan, and Mindoc, because you have some knowledge of geology and geography, and and was those the only ones? Like somebody else failed too. Oh, Otis did.
Oh.
Yeah. It was just Mindoc, Zoltan,
Yeah.
and Agaragis. So you guys realize he's saying topside, and he's talking about the Great Desert, which means you are in the in-between. Which means even if you were to go up topside right now, you would be on a completely different continent. Zoltan and Agaragis, if you guys, or any of you, if you guys have a knowledge of geography, I will let you roll it right now to see if any of you have like an idea of what you know what I'm saying? You just know that you are far from home. You guys are as far from home as you can possibly be right now.
You said I don't need to roll a geography, really?
Yeah. All of you would need to roll a geography.
Okay, cool. Well, then,
just so just to see if any of you have any like real. You don't have to. It's optional.
Okay.
No,
I was gonna say I don't have it, so
this is the exact kind of thing Mendok would take note of.
Well, Android, you wouldn't have picked up on this in the first place.
Oh, that's right. I failed my lesson anyway. Well,
Yeah.
Fuck me anyway. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. Mindoc, you've heard vague stories of a place called the Great Desert. You're trying to think of like what that is, but it's not in its location, but it's not. It's just not pinning down. But you know the Great Desert. What you do remember is that there is a continent, and it is basically just a desert. It is very vast. Where its location is and any more information about it just seems to be escaping you, because the more you get to thinking about it, the more you realize, oh man, no. And then you start thinking again about, playing fetch with a dog, petting a cat. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, I can't let my mind slip too much or he's going to get in here and, you know what I mean? No. Yeah, so... But you're the one out of everybody who is the fullest aware of just how deep in the underworld you guys actually are, right? Like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, like This is yeah. Any deeper and you're going to be finding Christmas presents. You know what I'm saying? So
Please do.
At this point, like having just been pretty much silent up until now, my dog actually just out of nowhere begins to address him and says,
begins to do what?
begins to address him and says, if your domain is here, sort of gestures around, then of what concern is the machinations of some drow in the Great Desert?
Because he isn't a drow. Not really. He masquerades as a drow. But whatever he is, he's pure chaos. Of a sort. I can't really pin it down. And he's moving down into my domain because he's looking for something. And what that something is, I cannot know. At least I cannot tell you. But I want him gone. You understand? I want him gone. He is a danger to me. I fear his powers are comparable to mine. I have not experienced anything like this ever, and I have experienced much. And I have yet to have ran into something quite like him. It's as if he doesn't even belong here, and I don't know what that means. He goes by many names. I have known him as the Yellow Star, the Hooded One, the Star Child, the One in Yellow. He goes, but I don't know who he is. I just know that he claims that there's something powerful here within our realm that he wants. And he's going around promising power to forces topside and to the Drow Queen, Loth, if they will help him find it. So that's what I require of you with your assistance. Find out what he wants, keep it from him, and drive him away. I don't care how you do it, whether you have to kill him or not, but find him and stop him.
Not sure we're really in a place to say no. Oh, fuck.
My dog looks at Android and asks, kind of expectantly, well, I won't stop following yours about, but what business of ours is this? Is this relevant to you? Do we care?
Well, my only concern is whether or not we can walk out of here without a fight, honestly. Kind of thinks for a moment. He's like, really, for the most part, I agree with you. It's really not any of our business, but
Okay.
it's one of them things where if we don't agree, he might not let us out of here, but if we agree and have no intention of doing it, then he might come after us later. So
Are you guys just saying this in front of him?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because my dog was, but my dog is my dog.
Yeah, I guess we're just saying this in front of him.
He laughs. He goes,
I guess
"You
we
can
be just kind of discreet, but at the same time, it feels like whatever, fuck it, you know?
He laughs.
Wait,
He
what did I just
says,
miss?
he laughs for a minute, and Hallister laughs for a minute, and he goes, you can always say no. But I promise you this. It won't stop in the great desert. If he finds what he's looking for, it won't stop there. I've seen his kind before. He is the kind that conquers. I've spoke with him once. He said he left a dying world and had to come to ours. He says something far worse is chasing him. That if he doesn't get a hold of this. But here's the thing. I don't trust him. I'd much rather deal with him and then deal with anything that's following him, whether that be true or not. And then he looks at Otis, who said, what did I miss? And he says, a lot, apparently.
Sorry, I have a bad habit of zoning out. Please forgive me.
Oh.
He just shrugs.
So you're kind of trying to contract our services. Is that a way of thinking?
A contract would say that I'm going to pay you.
Well, it's not that I necessarily need payment. I just I'm thinking about this in a way because topside we do have some resources and we do know some people who can look into it. We ourselves just have a lot on our plate. But I do understand what it is that you're saying about it being a matter that can't be exactly ignored. You know, and he kind of narrows his eyes. He's like, well...
He says, oh, a quid pro quo, is it? Something for something. Says,
I was just thinking more or less if you let us pass through here, you know, return us to where we were and let us go on about, then perhaps we can outsource this to somebody when we get topside. Is that fair?
Says, fair enough. Says, he holds up a finger for a minute and he says, one thing. And he begins to like look around and and he pulls out a mirror, a black mirror, just a round mirror, doesn't even have a handle or anything, right?
Ooh, cell phone.
And he sets it down on the table and he says, when you get topside, contact me and I will give you the details. He says, and in exchange, I may assist you in one of your pressing matters.
He kind of thinks and wearily reaches out and takes the mirror, you know, and puts it into
Madam
his...
actually bats your hand away, and he says,
Oh.
one of your apparent capability, why would you need us to do this thing? Can you simply not be bothered? Or is there something of concern to you that you would rather test subject to brute out first?
He looks at you, Mindoc, and he says, it would hardly suit me to leave my base of operations unguarded, wouldn't it? He says, no general goes out and fights a battle on his own. He sends his troops. Yeah, go for
it. But yeah, actually, that would... Mind you, this is a pure dice roll. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Mine completely.
Yeah, that's a pure dice roll, just a pure one. Yeah. You don't really like. It does seem.
Well-
What I will say is, it does seem treacherous. Something does seem amiss, but you can't quite point your finger on it. As he's explaining that no general, no king, no anything leaves the castle unguarded. He sends his army.
Tanner just sort of looks at Android like, "You're not buying this, are you?" But like, it doesn't say anything.
Do you say that to Android?
No,
Or
no,
you
it just stares at
give
him
a
like,
look?
you just get a look, yeah.
Okay. Android kind of looks at him and he's like, he picks up on that and he's like, I kind of assumed he couldn't leave. He says that at risk of upsetting him, but it's one of them things where Android isn't necessarily thinking about it as the character. He just kind of word vomits it.
Nice.
He's like, I just assumed he couldn't leave.
With that, like, you guys watch his hand slap the table and he says, "Enough now." He says, "For your sake, I better not have to leave. The last thing you want is Hallister Blackcloak walking amongst you topside, lest I make that my domain."
Sheesh.
Again,
Literally,
he
like,
does
literally
not.
shrugged.
Again, it's like Agaragis speaks and he doesn't even notice. He doesn't even like motion like he even heard that.
Oh,
He says,
I'm gonna speak up on that. Like, why have you been ignoring our friend?
he looks in your direction, Otis, and he says, I have not ignored any of you. I have brought you into my home. I have given you food and drink. I have treated you like honored guests. And yet you guys treat me as if I'm secretly planning your demise. If I wanted your demise, I would just have it.
I meant no disrespect. I just was gonna point to Agaragis like they've been trying to talk to you and you just ignored them.
He looks at you, Otis, pointing at Agaragis, and he looks, and a bit of confusion crosses his face for a minute, and then he looks at you. He looks again at the spot, and then his expression kind of softens for a minute, and then a bit of sadness enters his eyes as he stares at you, and he says, "Ah, yes, I have one of those too. I understand now." And then he looks and he says, and he just kind of nods in your direction, Agaragis, and he's like, "Greetings, honored friend. I did not realize you were here. My mistake."
He just nods back.
And then he looks at you, Android, and Zoltan and Mindoc, and he kind of gets this like expression on his face. And he leans in real close and he says, I mean, like real close, like trying to be at an earshot of like Otis. And he says, "I fear your friend suffers from the madness. You may want to have him. You may want to have him checked." He goes, "Don't wait. It can manifest itself in..." And then like his expression darkens for a minute and the shadows just seem to creep up over his face. Like he's like just like engulfing himself in natural darkness. And he says, "It can manifest itself in the most dangerous of ways." And then he leans back and he says, "Anyways, no."
it looks to Otis like quite seriously, and then like back, and it's just like noted. He did not pick up on that.
Yeah.
He's not picking up on that at all, is
No
he?
shit.
Does Otis see Mindoc look at him like that?
I will allow, because Mindoc's mind is so preoccupied, I will allow Zoltan and android, right? Now, Otis, you did see Mind Doc look at you like that. I won't have you roll for that, and so I'll have you roll a sense motive for that expression, for that look. Android, I'm gonna let you get away with a bardic knowledge on this one.
Yeah.
And Zoltan, you can roll a sense motive as well.
Hooray!
I like the fact that Mind Doc's now worried about Otis's mental capacity. Like, oh no. Okay, so in the case well, Zoltan, this all just goes completely over your head. You know,
Alright.
this has just kind of gone completely over your head. You're just like, what is going on right now? Like, what is happening here? You know what I mean? You're not stupid, right? Like, you know that there are things just transpiring here. You're just not entirely sure, like, what to think at this point. This dude wants to hire you. There's some kind of drow who's now in talks with Loth, you know, like what? He wants you guys to find him and kill him, I guess. Now he's talking about Otis possibly being like insane, you know, like what is going on? You know, this dude's insane. Like, you do know for sure that he suffers from dementia, you know, and that just, so like you're basically just like on edge at this point. Like, are we gonna have to fight this dude? Like, you know, he's a roller coaster, you know? Like,
I'm not understanding what's happening anymore.
yeah, like, yeah, what you do know is that this is a tense situation. As formal as this Hallister Blackcloak is trying to be, this has been a very tense situation this whole time. Like it's just been one thing after another with this guy. As far as Android goes, Android, you realize that there's nothing wrong with Otis. Nothing at all. You paid attention to that conversation that he just had with Otis when he said, I've got one of those too. You realize that, yeah, Hallister suffers from multiple personality disorder or something. And when he looked in Agaragus's direction and bowed and everything, he wasn't actually talking to Agaragus. He was treating it like Otis has an imaginary friend or something. Like, you know, like he literally does not see Agaragus. It is popping into your head right now. He cannot see Agaragus. And that makes you wonder, why can't he see Agaragus? John Cena. No, okay. But no, he cannot. Yeah, he doesn't. Anyways, he does not see Agaragus though. And what he was doing was just playing along with Otis because he thinks that Otis may suffer from the same thing he's suffering. You see what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah. Which, because you do know this guy is immensely powerful too. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And so now it's all dawned on you. We have this Hallister Blackcloak who is incredibly powerful, who may give into his dark side someday. You know?
And we've currently pissed him off.
And then Otis, you see Mindoc look over at you with that concern and you think to yourself, why is he looking at me like that? Like that's what you read on his face. Like, yeah, like what does that look for? You know what I mean? Like what did Hallister just whisper to them guys that caused Mindoc to look at you like that? Yeah?
I've got a question.
What's up?
Can you give me like 5 minutes to go grab some food?
Yes.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Just hurry back. I'll catch him up when he gets back.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
just thought it was funny the way he asked.
Yeah. Hey, Pog.
So polite.
Yeah.
Like he thought he was doing something wrong. You know, it's like just go get food.
Yeah, just go eat. Well, no. Don't tell him otherwise. Let's cultivate this attitude. But yeah, so what it boils down to now is, Android, are you holding the mirror in your hand?
I went to take it, but MindDoc slapped my hand away and was like, wait, hold on a second. Let me ask some questions. So Android was just kind of waiting to grab it again until it was like less tense, you know, like what we decided on.
Well, now Hallister's sitting there staring at you guys, looking down at the mirror and then looking at you all. He's like, if I lose my domain, then I have to find another one. It would be in your best interest that I don't ever have to go topside ever again.
Okay.
Yep. I can agree with that. Probably. He kind of looks to MindDoc and Otis, and he's like, "So what do you guys say? We look into this when we get topside, or have Sebastian send somebody to look into this when we get topside?"
Well,
Mendo gives like a faint elven shrug. Like, this isn't my concern.
I mean, he did offer to assist us in a matter, so I mean, I don't see why we can't do that.
Precisely.
Okay, so Android wearily takes the mirror and puts it in his bag of holding, and he's like, "Well, we'll get into contact with you and when we know more details."
Says, wonderful, wonderful. Well then, I can't see any reason to keep you here. And then he kind of grits his teeth for a minute. Kind of like, it's almost like he's shaking, like he's like he's tensing up. He's like, you hear like, you straight up hear his jaw like kind of crack and pop. He's like, almost like he had to like, almost like sounded like he had to break it just to like allow himself to speak again and untense. And he says, no, there's no reason to keep you. I trust that you will keep your word. He looks at you, Android. He says, you seem like you serve those who would. And with that, he waves his hand. I'm going to have him roll something real quick, actually, just for the fun of it.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay. I got you, MindDoc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just now noticed that. Sorry.
Got you.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so he says that about you, and when he says that about you, Android, he looks and he notices the badge on your shirt. You know, on your lapel there, the badge of Corlon Lorethian, and his eyebrow cocks and he says, Lorethian.
That's right.
I knew a Lorethian once. Says,
Hopefully it was one and the same.
I don't know. I don't know. He was an interesting elven man. He was pure magic.
Gangsta.
Says,
One
yeah.
and the same.
He points at Zoltan there and he goes, he's the father of his kind.
Yeah, not his best look.
Says, oh, I don't know. Perhaps if he had been here more to rear the drow in the right direction. But no, he did. He left them to his friend. And she has not done much, to be sure.
Android's like, well, yeah, I would have too. And he pinches Zoltan's cheek. You know, he's like smiling when he says it. You know, it's like a dry joke.
Says, very well then. And he raises a hand and the portcullis opens up and he goes, go through the door and you will be back where you came from.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Says, yes. It was nice to have company again. And he clenches a fist, but he quickly shakes his hand and shakes it away. Says, I seldom get guests these days under such civil arrangements. He says, oh, one other thing too, before you all leave. And he snaps his fingers. And everybody, oddly enough, everybody but Mindoc and Agaragis are suddenly frozen in time.
Nice.
Like you guys are aware of it. Like everybody's moving, it just feels like you're moving so slow and you don't understand and you're just super aware that you're suddenly just moving really slow or that you're you know what I'm saying? Except Mindoc and Agaragis. And Mindoc and Agaragis, you guys watch as Hallister goes walking by everybody. And as he goes walking by, he looks at you, Mindoc, and nods. As if he's aware that you're not stuck by this.
Oh.
As if he's aware
Okay.
that you're not under this spell, or anything. And perhaps you're not under it because he didn't want you to be under it. You cannot tell, but he is fully aware, you know? You're not sure if you just it just doesn't affect you, or he just didn't want it to affect you, or what, but you know that he knows that you know. And he walks over to Android's bag of holding, opens it up, and puts his hand down inside of it.
No way.
Fair enough.
And he pulls out.
Have your book back. I just didn't want Mindoc to have it.
He pulls out. Yeah, he pulls out his diploma and sets it on the mantle. He holds it out and prestidigitations the deal back up onto the mantle. And then he goes, And he reaches in there and he pulls out the water of life and looks it over for a minute.
Dang it.
Puts it back in. Puts it back in. Pulls out the alchemist stone and looks it over. Puts it back in. Pulls out the eye of the storm and looks it over. And then returns it.
My dog is casting read magic and just observation spells every time he pulls something out. He's like, okay, this bag, what the fuck?
Yeah. The items he just pulled out, all except for the plaque, the items he just pulled out are reading magic, just, you know what I'm saying? They're just beaming with so much power, it's unreal. You know what I'm saying?
From where he is, my dog's really kind of looking at him it's just whoa.
Every time he pulls one out, right? Every time he pulls one out, you're just blinded by the light coming off of it, the magical energy coming off of it as he puts it back. And then he shuts the bag of holding, and he goes, "Now I know in which way to assist you." He leans into your ear, Android, and whispers that in your ear. He's like, "Now I know how I can help you."
Before things,
Android
Okay.
vomits in slow
Unfreeze.
motion.
Yeah, like, it's just slowly crawling up
Go ahead,
your
my dog.
esophagus.
before things keep moving, my dog asks this question again of, what did you keep from that?
He says, "Oh,"
A piece of paper.
he laughs and says, "Your friend here was afraid that if you saw that, you would be worried, or it would entice you into some kind of fool's errand or something. He does not trust you very much." He looks, and then he looks over at Otis and he says, "Neither of them trust you very much. I don't know what you have done to them, but whatever it was pretty bad." He goes, "I could dig deeper, but no. I need you all to trust me too." He says, "But,"
It's a strange thing.
he says, "indeed, considering," and he looks at you and he goes, "considering, Mind Doc, if that who you be. Really?" And he kind of half smiles. And that's when you realize that he knows something about you. Something that you don't even know.
Mhm.
And he says, "But no, that is my degree from the Castiore Wizard University." And he shows it
It's
to
nice
you
to
and
have
it
confirmation.
says Hallister, and then the last name is scratched out. And yeah, you suddenly realize, is this the dude I read about in the library?
No, he says it out loud.
Oh, you say that? You say that to him? He says, "Oh,
Yes.
he says, "Oh, you know me then."
Like, he doesn't, I don't really say it to him, I just kind of like says that out loud as well. Like, he just sort of thought out loud kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, he picks up on it and he's just like, "Oh, so
Yeah.
you know of me, huh?" Says, "Have you been to Castiores?"
I was there recently, yes. Just some reading.
Says, "Oh, they still have books about me." He says, "Interesting." With that,
I wouldn't call them scholarly, but something of the nature.
Hello.
he pulls out a crystal, right? And he tosses it to you. He says, "Look me up sometime." Says, "It's been too long since I myself have had a pupil." Says, "Perhaps there are things I could teach you."
Alex sort of looks down at the crystal, like holding it in both hands, and then back up at it, and kind of like just nods with like, kind of a little twinkle in his eye.
For the record, like, because everybody is slowed down, you guys cannot really comprehend what is being said, nor do you see this interaction between them. You know what I mean? The
Man.
only reason why
And I was about to say, I would have just sweating in slow motion.
the only reason why Android, you even heard him say, "Now I know how to help you," is because he got real close and whispered that in your. You know what I mean? Slow enough for you to
So
understand
I
it.
have no comprehension that he just frisked my bag of holding.
No, you have no comprehension the only other person.
No.
The only other person who is witnessing this right now is Agargus. Agargus, you are sitting there with food in your hand still, like watching this go down between Mindoc and Hallister. You watched Hallister frisk Android's bag of holding. You watched him talk to Mindoc about all this, and then you watched him hand him that crystal. You witnessed this whole thing. Because the spell had no effect on you whatsoever.
How convenient.
It's a targeted spell. And with that,
It's
he's
just funny.
yeah, he snaps his fingers again, and everybody's moving like normal again. He says, "Be gone." He says, "Now go. I will return you back to where you once were."
Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
Until next time.
He nods, indeed.
Thanks for the food.
he nods at you, Otis, kind of with that sad look on his face again, and he's like, "Yes, you take care."
I make zero promises.
Otis is now insane. It's lore. It's canon.
Yeah.
I'm kind of already there, so I mean,
Big fucking facts.
So
Yeah,
as you guys
that's
are
old news.
moving past him, Garrus, when you go walking past him unnoticed, he suddenly stops and goes and sniffs the air. It's like, no, I couldn't. He's like, that demon witch would not dare send one of them into my domain. And then he goes and begins walking up the stairs as you guys go through the portcullis, and it slowly shuts, and you guys go walking into a beam of light. We pick up with Uquill and Cassifane, who are sitting there. Yeah, Uquill, you're telling him stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have just been eventually, like, you were looking at the wall, you were standing at the wall, whatever, slapping it, whatever. Eventually we pick up with you guys just sitting, chilling in front of this like forest wall, just sitting there telling stories back and forth with one another about this and that, you know what I mean? And you begin to tell them about Honey, you know, and like how you've got a kid with her and all this other stuff, and just, you know, things like that, you know what I mean? And Cassifane goes, "Really? She was really in that profession? Like she and now she's like, what? Now she just lives at your mom's ranch as a farm girl, like slash wannabe warrior? I don't understand how that happens."
You know, figured that the fuck out myself. I just don't ask questions.
Was it, you know, was it still, you know, still pretty, was she still pretty intact, or was she, and then before he asks, he says, "Oh, duh." And he looks and like feels lower on the wall, and he finds a hole in it. He goes, "Duh. We just had to find the hole." Takes his arm out of there.
Usually good at that.
He says, "Duh." He goes, "Oh." He goes, "Oh, well, I guess your friends aren't going to come back, so perhaps we should just press forward and hope that we find them eventually."
I mean, I suppose.
Says, "All right then." And he stands up and pats you on the back, and he goes, "Lead the way."
I do declare.
He says, "Lead the way, brave leader."
People just sighs and.
So you guys
goes to trudge up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys both go through the hole, and when you get out onto the other side, you come out into this room that looks like all the other rooms. This room looks normal. It looks like the first room. It's just a square stone room of basically like stone brick. You know what I mean? Like everything just looks like a brick road, wall, floor, ceiling, all of it with torches on the wall and everything. And you as you come out the hole, you come walking out of this hole, and you see Android, Zoltan, Agaragis, Otis, and Mindoc all there, and there to greet you as you and Cassifane come crawling through the hole.
The fuck? Would y'all take a fucking shortcut?
I wouldn't call it that. We just had an encounter with it's Alistair Blackwell. Is that's his name?
Alistair
Yeah.
Blackcloak.
Black Cloak. That's what it was. I thought it was Blackwell for some reason.
I kind of want to say Meadow corrects Android.
Yeah. My bad, corrected. Yeah, good. That's canon.
That is canon.
Android like turns and is like looking.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I gotta know how does that sound when MindDoc corrects him? Like, yeah, I gotta hear how MindDoc would do that.
Oh, it's just passive. It's just Black Cloak.
Yeah, Android's like, is it Blackwell? He kind of looks around. MindDoc just curtly corrects him. Fair enough, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Was that? Huh.
He was a little upset with you.
Me? What the fuck did I do?
Apparently, you stopped in and didn't say hi, and he was a little hurt by that.
I wasn't trying to say hi. I was trying to avoid the motherfucker.
Yeah, it hurt his feelings.
I'm supposed to just be, hey, pass the through, guy. Got a cup of tea?
It's what he wanted.
Are you fucking
I
serious?
mean, he gave us food.
Pretty much, yeah. He gave us food. I didn't eat it because I didn't trust him.
I did. It was fucking delicious.
But no, he just he's got some business back in your hometown. I say hometown. That being the entirety of the desert being your hometown in my mind. But he's got some business there that he wants us to look into. I told him that I'd have Sebastian send somebody to look into it and let us go. It was a close encounter of the turd kind.
Yeah, he's.
Hopefully, wherever we've been brought is easier to navigate out of.
So that's what you missed. What are you up to, cool guy? Android finger guns at you. He's like, I don't even know how to feel now. I didn't die in that encounter, so I'm happy.
Yeah, you were just looking at that, like everybody, like the fuck, but
Yeah, because we're treating it like it's no big deal.
but you just, well,
You
I don't know what the fuck.
you guys watch as
We hear the whole
Casafane
time.
like steps around you, Quill, and he goes, "The Alistair Blackcloak."
There's a second one.
Apparently, Android kind of looks at MindDoc. He's like, "His credentials check out? you're the magic guy." As far as I'm
Your people
concerned,
also
that was
have-
all really strong tricks.
Do your people also have fiction of him geared at young human shield? Young humans, you'll just say.
Well, Casafane's a drow, but he goes, "Oh yeah."
He sort of like thinks and then he goes, oh wait, you don't have humans there, do you?
He goes, "Yeah, I've heard of him. Stories mainly from when I was a child. Yeah, he my mother used to tell me, don't go too far beyond the ridge, or Alistair Blackcloak will eat your soul, type of thing. I didn't think he was real after, and then he just kind of, like just, just kind of shakes a little bit, like, like he's got a shiver. Instinctively, he's like, ugh.
He's really, really real.
He goes, and he didn't eat your souls? Like, he didn't eat your souls?
I hope not. I hope not.
I believe my soul's still intact.
Feels like it.
You lost yours a while back. We're not going to talk about it.
Oh, you right.
He's like, good grief.
Yeah, I got it back though.
He like instinctively shivers again, just ugh. He goes, oh, I can't wait to tell the stories. I've actually met people who have met Hallister Blackcloak. Nobody's gonna believe me. But yeah.
This is foolish. We all get out of here. We don't know how time flows. Or it doesn't in this, so it looks around.
You will
Oh,
just
right.
avidly ignores my doc.
What a dick.
Cassfane's like, oh. Cassfane's like, oh, right, though. And he points. There is only one exit out of this room, and it's just another tunnel. Just dead ahead of where Uquill and Cassfane came in. He's like, yeah.
I wouldn't have minded a cup of tea. Kind of tries to so well, just.
Cassafane's like, it's not about the cup of tea, buddy. And he pats you on the back. He's like, it's about the friends we made along the way. And then he goes through the hole.
Nice.
I cast Fireball.
You will tempted to give him 1,000 years of death. For those who don't,
You gonna stick your fingers in his ass?
Exactly.
Wow.
Whoa.
We getting freaky, man?
Yeah, I was going all Diddy, no loot.
No.
Oh, Diddy, no lube.
Jesus.
No diggity, no doubt.
Dang.
Fuck's sake.
All right, so does everybody go into the hole?
Oh yeah.
I'm going.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
So it brings you guys into like a waiting room, right? It is when you guys get on the other side, it's strange. This is the strangest room you think you've ever been in because it does not look like anything you've ever been in before. Somewhere in the background, it's still just a square room, yet there's music in here. There's a chandelier hanging from the ceiling with little candles in it to light the room. Somewhere in the background you can hear like music playing, like somebody playing the piano, only the way they're playing the piano is like faster than you've ever heard before. It's like kind of like a like it's just like a strange melody because you guys aren't used to hearing anything less than classical style on a piano before. Like you've heard what could be considered edgy classical, but this isn't classical. This is more chimey. You know what I mean? A good example of it is the way this sounds like any minute now, Kid Rock's about to kick in and say, yeah, Kid Rock, you could call me Tex. You know what I'm saying? Like just that kind of, yeah. No, it's not as bluesy. No, it's not as bluesy. It's more old timey, you know? And the room itself is like this strange room too, because like the floor is like wooden mahogany. The walls are made out of wood. There is a window there that it's the signage is in big yellow bold letters, but it's sitting on the outside of the window, and it's backwards, but if you read it backwards, it says saloon on it. And outside, you can see a dirt road and like horses pulling carriages and men dressed very strangely. They all wear like long jackets that look like they're made out of hide, wearing like strange hats with these wide brims that curl up a little bit, and they carry like strange weaponry, like belts that have like weird little. And Android, you actually notice it. You're like, that's ammo, because you think of the bad day, and you're like, that's ammo right there. But the room is square. And you can hear this. You can hear all this going on. And then there's two doors. There's two wooden doors. One dead ahead of you and one off to your left. You can hear like some lady go walking by. She's wearing this like purple frilly dress, but like for whatever reason, she's got something in the dress that makes her rear end like look like it's up and humped or something, and she walks with this like little umbrella looking thing that looks like it's white and made out of lace. And she, one of the men walk up to her and like grabs the tip of his hat with his thumb and his index finger, and he's just like, ma'am. And as they go walking by, like it is a strange sight out there. It's like nothing you've ever seen before.
But they have ammo. Equals like what? Sorry.
Equals on the hunt. He saw that ass.
Yeah, it doesn't look real. Like it doesn't take that shape. It looks like it's a hump, like an actual
You
hump.
think he
like
gives a flying
hump
fuck?
that should be on her. Oh, okay. So
Yeah, well, I guess that's fair. It has the intended purpose.
yeah.
Had to work.
It do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't think you understand what. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Yes, fair enough to you, Quill. Yeah,
He does not.
I get it. It looks like it could either you could either like rest a drink.
He's gonna
on
ride
it.
Yeah.
Anyways, you have two doors here. You got one dead ahead of you and one to your left.
You see his pony.
I'd like to speak to a manager.
Like off in
I'm
the
down
distance, you hear somebody talking, and he says, "And a quarter. Don't forget the quarter."
They got doubloons.
That's just outside somewhere. Just hear it off in the distance. But yeah, you got two doors. One to your left, one ahead of you.
One to the left and one ahead.
One to considering where you just stepped out of, yes, it would be on your left, and one would be dead ahead.
Android's gonna look at you, Quill, and he's gonna be like, I am resisting the urge to spend more time than what is necessary in this room. And he's just gonna turn left and start heading that direction.
You pop the
I
door.
see ammunition for my bad day. I gotta get out of here before I spend too much time here.
So you pop the door open, and inside there you see what looks like a grove, like a little grove inside a forest with a pond, but the pond looks like it's actually like a hot spring with heat coming out of it and everything. You can see the little heat signatures coming out of it and whatnot. And inside there you see three extremely attractive women all gathered around like one being, and one of them's behind him like massaging his shoulders, and you realize that it's the worker that Zoltan summoned earlier. And he quickly just shoots you. Yeah, he just quickly shoots you guys a glance, and he says, "Shut that door, you're letting the heat out."
Yeah, I'm shutting it. Not that door. Android just turns back. Not that door. Other door.
Aw.
Hey,
So you guys go through that door and you all go stepping out into this door, and as the last one of you comes through, the door behind you just automatically closes, and when it closes, it's gone completely. And you guys find yourself down a long winding hallway. Like, not a long winding hallway, just a long hallway. Like, front or back, it looks like it stretches on forever.
What the fuck is happening?
You're outside. You can see the sky again. It's this orange-red hue to it, as if you guys are there, like, as if it's just perpetual morning or sunset. But it's not twilight. It's when the sun makes the sky light up in the orange and the red and everything. Yeah, and it's just this long brick hallway. The walls have like different kinds of moss and growth crawling up it and whatnot. It's grown there. And the floor is just dirt.
Not a big fan of this one either, but it's better than the last one. So
Dead ahead of you, and as far ahead of you, it just looks like this hall stretches on forever. And when you turn around where the door disappeared, it looks like the hall stretches on forever.
nice.
Meadow looks to cast
Gotta love
Savane.
it.
And
Otis is just gonna start walking.
yeah. While they're walking, Meadow looks to cast Savane and says, "How is this meant to take us where we want to?"
Castlefane says, "There's a lot of strange things in the underworld that I don't understand." He goes, "There are places I've never been here before." So, I don't know. He goes, "Maybe if we..." I don't know. So you guys are walking what? Forward, backward, where?
Sideways.
I say forward, I guess.
Yeah, Otis just started walking forward.
Keep going.
Okay, so you all begin walking. And
And
again-
again, let's split up.
Again,
I dust off my shoes and start see walking out.
it's like that episode of Supernatural where they end up at the Scooby-Doo gang and he's like, "All right, gang, let's split up." And they're like, "How is that?" And he goes, "I got a plan. Let's split up." And Castiel goes, "That's a plan?" Anyways, though, yeah, so you guys begin walking. Just walking forward. Walking forward. And you're walking forward. Now, to be fair, it's not like it's all just stays the same. I mean, you can see different growth on the walls and, different stuff. It looks different, but it just feels like it's stretching on forever. Ever. And this goes on for so long that nothing changes as you're walking. Like it never seems like you're getting any closer to the end of this thing. In fact, it begins to look as if it's stretching itself away from you the further you go.
I'm going to turn around and backwards long jump up the stairs.
right.
Mario 64.
Huh. Oh, I was
Nah,
thinking.
deadass, I'm going to turn around and backpedal.
I was thinking of Silent Hill Downpour when you're going down, when you're trying to go up the stairs, and like it never. And so you turn around to go back down it, and the thing jump scares you, and you turn around to run away, and you slap right into the door. All right, so
No.
so
I was
you,
talking about the infinite stairs in Mario 64 that if you backwards long jump up, you can glitch up the top.
Glitch out of it, yeah.
Like speed run hacks or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, depending on if that's your cartridge of 64.
Right.
Yeah. Depends if
No,
it,
that's one
if
of them
it,
that works
if it
on all of
knows you. No. Anyway.
No, it just didn't work for you because you're not good enough at the game. And it doesn't
You know
respect
what?
you enough to let
You
guys do it.
are
He has no hands.
you
No
are
hands.
you are correct. You are correct. I think I played 60. I never actually owned a
You ain't got
64.
no nipples.
Yeah, I never
No
actually
nipples!
owned a 64. I had to play it at my friend Daniel's house, and he was the type of bud who would like let you play it for like maybe 10 minutes and then be like, okay, let me play. It's like, dude, I haven't.
Nice.
Oh, okay, well, it's mine. Okay, yeah, here you go. And then like I lose interest and F off. Anyways,
Fair enough.
yeah. So,
I'm just being a dick.
no, it's so you turn around and you begin going back the other way, and oddly enough, it doesn't seem like you're passing by anything you've seen before. It feels like you're still experiencing new growth, new pathway, whatever, but it's still just stretching on forever.
Nice.
And you guys do this for a while. What do? You're allowed to play as much D&D as you like.
Otis is going to summon Cassius.
Oh yeah, good idea. I was gonna say, how tall is the wall? I'm gonna try and climb up, but yeah, summon Cassius, let him fly up.
I can do all the work.
So you summon Cassius, and your celestial griffin out of the monster manual, of course. And he appears, and when he appears, this this hall is extremely narrow. Like, not incredibly narrow. You guys have been able to kind of walk through it pretty much, but he is large. And so when he gets summoned in there, he's like, it's not so much that he's pinned, but his wings are not able to like fan out to allow him to flight. So when he shows up, he's just like, he's like, oh,
Nice.
he's like looking around. He's like, oh, and he looks at you, Otis, and he's like, hello, Otis. Got ourselves in an issue here, huh?
Yeah, this room just seems to keep stretching on and on and on. I was wondering if you happen to know anything.
He he looks around, his he's like shimmery and everything, he's just kind of looking around, and every once in a while he like whips his head and you can just see the sparkles, the golden sparkles coming off of him, looking up, and he's like, huh. He goes, well, it's it kind of reminds me of the forest in the Beastlands. Oddly enough, like it's meant to just like oh, I don't know. It's more than meets the eye, I guess. Like, have you guys tried going back the other way? Like, which way are we going?
Yes, but everywhere looks different than what we've already passed.
As I see. So the two directions aren't working.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly like the first in the. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to think outside the box.
Give me something a
I
little
don't-
more than that. Like,
Andok looks
Ye-
at Curtis now and like he's just whistling and goes, "Was that a conjuration? Did you just summon them?"
Otis is going to kind of look at Mind Dogs like, this isn't really the time.
That just says mind blowing to himself like conjurations work in here.
As well.
What
So-
nonsense is this?
Says it's not really so much a conjuration. It's kind of like a portal, sorta.
Is Cassius answering his question?
Yeah. Cassius
I was
is
like,
answering
dude,
his
no,
question.
no, we don't have time for this.
Says, "Oh yeah, right." He goes, and he tries to
We can
like
answer the questions later.
he tries to like turn around and he can't. He's like, He just looks at you again, Otis, and he goes, "I'm not going to be much help to you in here." He goes, "If best I could tell you, just like in the forest, if front and back ain't working, then try something else."
Let's try it. How tall are the walls?
Oh,
Otis is going to dismiss Cassius.
he's like, "Sorry." Back into the coin that hooks itself to your to the monster manual. The walls are
Yeah, like one.
oh, they're probably about like 9-10 feet tall. Not
Let's
very
start climbing.
tall at all. So everybody's gonna start climbing?
I am at least.
All
Yeah.
right. Android, you begin climbing up the wall, right? And you climb all the way up to the top of the wall, and you realize, oh man, it's open on this other side. You can feel it on the ridge. You don't have like a huge like ridge right there. It's just up and over. So you pick yourself up and pull yourself over. And when you come over, everybody standing there looking up on one side of the wall where you just climbed up, you watch as you come barreling over the other wall, boom, right down behind them.
Nice. At that one, Android just kind of chuckles. He's kind of like, well, that
We were like-
figures, huh?
Screw this and just start digging with his hands.
Now, I will remind you guys, Castaphane does have an ability to track and things like that. You can implore
Otis don't know this. He's
to
just
try
gonna
and
dig.
use.
You both sits down and pulls out his flask. And is watching, just watching. Slight amazement.
Otis, you begin digging into the ground, like you're just digging and digging and digging and digging, and it seems like as much dirt as you're digging out, it never seems to pile up on either side. It always seems to hit and then flatten out, and the hole never seems to, get you anywhere. It always feels like you're just digging dirt out, and as quickly as you're digging dirt out, dirt is re-entering your hands.
Otis is slamming his face against the ground in frustration now.
Nice. We eat it. We eat the fucking dirt.
It might be tasty.
Yeah. Can I look for? I'm gonna look for like any differences in, like pretty much any like area where like the pattern of how the terrain has been so far is like broken, I guess.
Mind Doc, roll me a spot. So, Mind Doc, you begin to look around, and you're like looking around on the walls and everything, and you're patting them, and then as you begin patting the wall, all of a sudden you're like patting the wall, and then all of a sudden your hand just goes into the wall. Still looks like the wall, but you realize it's an optical illusion, how part of the wall is further back than the rest of the wall. Well, because it looks like the rest of the wall at a glance, it just, because perception, depth perception, it looks like it's just a flat wall. But you realize that the optical illusion is the fact that that one chunk of wall is further back. And you realize, oh, it dawns on you. We came in, right? We came in, and the door closed and disappeared behind us, leaving us forward and backward. But perhaps the doors out of this room aren't forward and backwards. Perhaps they are to our left and to our right. And perhaps this entire time we've been walking, we haven't really ever been going anywhere. We've just been walking in place.
Nice.
I'm just gonna mumble this is too petty to be natural.
So, like, out of
Waves
curiosity,
everyone over.
out of curiosity, you try the other side of the wall as well. I'm just going to give this to you.
Oh yes.
You try the other side of the wall, and it's the same thing. There are two doors, one left and one right from when you guys first entered. There is nothing forward and there's nothing back.
Nice.
That's why I almost laughed earlier when you guys were like, well, which way do we go? And you Quill's like, side to side. Because I was like, yeah, that's exactly what you do. But I was like, He accidentally figured it out right away.
The dumb elves are entitled to a, like, I don't know, like a spot check if there's a fucking hidden portal or whatever that actually manifested accidentally. No, but
Elves are entitled to overthink it.
A dwarf actually gets a natural spot check on things like that. Actually. But anyways, it doesn't matter.
He's got a plus.
So yeah, Minduck, you realize that the doorways are are the actual walls right here. That you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That you guys aren't actually moving at all. No matter how much walking you're doing, you're just walking in place. All you guys have been doing is just marching in place.
And just kind of proceeds through the fucking portal.
Which way, left or right?
Left.
Left.
Left it is.
Otis stops slamming his face into the dirt, gets up and follows.
All right. You guys once again find yourselves as you guys go through the door, you through the wall, you find yourselves coming out of a hole into another just plain square room with a door, or with a hole directly in front of you, one to your left.
Fly up and touch the ceiling.
The ceiling is a solid stone brick ceiling. Once again, this is just one of those plain rooms.
Yeah. Just covering all the bases.
You said it's forward and to the left?
There's one dead ahead of you, where you guys entered in, right? There's
Right.
one directly in front of you and one to your left.
Otis is going to go to the door ahead and slowly open it and just peek inside.
Well, it's a hole, I should say. It's one of the tunnels. It doesn't look like a door. This one.
A tunnel.
They both look like this is like the first room that you guys first came into. Like every once in a while you guys walk into rooms that just look plain.
No one goes to move forwards, just starts walking left. Needs to be one of them.
Left again it is.
I mean, I guess.
You motherfucking
So you guys go left, and as you guys are coming out of the tunnel, it's like you guys are coming out of a bush, out of some bushes.
Oh.
Shut up, you Quill. It's like you guys are coming out of some bushes into a forest, and that is in perpetual twilight. It's a very enchanted place. You, all of you but Agaragus. Oh, and Mindoc.
Yeah.
Get this like sensation.
No,
Get this sensation that it feels familiar to you. You feel this like whimsy feeling.
Like, can I like look around and acknowledge this?
Fuck!
Yeah, you can.
Fine, you fools!
Do you have a knowledge of the planes, Mindoc?
Yeah.
Roll it. Roll it. Now, when I say all of you that it feels familiar, all of you feel the whimsy, I should say. All of you feel the whimsy. But Otis, Android, and you Quill, this feels very, very familiar.
Fuck.
There's not a world. There's not a fucking world. That's all you Quill saying. There's not a fucking world.
Mindoc, this you search your memory of this feeling. You're like, man, because like despite yourself, you're feeling very giddy. You're feeling very, very giddy, and you don't know why. This feels very like wrong to you, and you're trying to think, why would I feel giddy like this? Blah 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 blah. But you can't nail it down. Your hands are shaking, and all of a sudden, like when I say you guys come into this clearing, you guys are in the middle of a camp. There's wagons parked here with like little lanterns hooked to them and stuff, and they're like, you know, unhitched. So like the horses and stuff are just chilling and whatnot. And there's people here playing musical instruments and stuff, just jamming out.
Horrid.
Just playing, and you guys feel that music, that like vibe, I guess you can say, like to start to hit you, and all of you are feeling extremely tempted to just join in on this merriment right now.
Oh, don't.
These people are just having the time of their lives right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're just you know, I mean they are getting down, and they're dance, and they're, you know, they look kind of elvish in their appearance, but there's something not quite elvish about them. And it just feels all too familiar. Oh, and they're running around dancing with these lightly green-skinned, beautiful women who are just extremely enticing to look at.
Equal looks at Android and he's like, "This ain't real, is it?"
I dare say, even if it is real, that we don't need to join in.
Big facts. Remember the last time this happened, though, right?
Do you guys
vaguely.
know? Do you guys know what's going on?
Uh-huh.
I know well enough to not.
I knew
fuck
dragons
around
knew
here.
the moment that he started like custom. Yeah.
I will let you. You Quill, do you know what's going on? Or
It's clear.
Or Otis.
I mean, I do, but I don't know that it's like, yeah.
Last time we encountered this was when we were hunting for honey.
Yes, exactly. You
Very,
know.
very many years ago. Yes.
Yes.
Equal has an etch in his memory because he had a cut of food.
Mm-hmm.
All I can tell you is I have a sort of indistinct timer going down in my head right now. You guys better figure out something to do. It is a forest.
And it just says
It is a forest clearing. You do not see any distinct exits out of this place as it stands right now. You know,
Not
it's
even
a
like the
forest.
other side of the forest clearing.
Well, everything, it's all forest, so it's all open. Let me put it to you like that.
actually no.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything,
This
it's all open.
Going.
If that makes any sense, is what I'm saying.
If Otis were to look through the bush that we just came out of, would he see the cave, or is it just a bush now?
Yeah, Otis, you look through the bush and you see the hole going back. Actually,
You know, we're like, should we try the other way?
Let's peek.
You know, Otis is making his way back into the hole.
Yeah, let's go
I'm
back
going to the other
place.
all right. I want everybody to roll me a will save.
You are kidding.
Everyone.
No.
Because there's opium in the air.
I just want everybody to roll me a will save. Even you, Agargus. Even this.
There's a timer.
This is well, yeah. There's a timer to something.
Teleportation of any.
This is a timer.
Yeah, there's a timer to something. I didn't say there was a timer
Your
to
face is a
this.
timer.
Whether or not you start dancing.
Teleportation. Vigilance.
Waiting on you, Agargus.
Yeah, just a Gegas.
My bad.
No, it's okay. So every last one of you get this every one of you look behind you and get this this feeling. You know, there's this huge longing, you're tempted to go back and just join in on these people's merriment. You know, it calls to you hard. You know.
You call me on my cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It pulls it I don't know how to explain, it's tugging on your heartstrings kind of. There's almost a nostalgic vibe to it, but there's also this indistinct feeling that well, perhaps life would be easier if I just went back there and joined these people. And it's about this time you guys see a very familiar person come walking into the group playing his lute. And he's just singing. He's like, come round and join us now. And he's just, ding, 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 ding. And you instantly recognize him to be the one that when you were in Righteous Stone, Android, you had the duel, the music duel with him and everything. This is the guy that took off with Honey and everything, and you guys remember this. You remember him, you remember his people in the Feywild. You remember all of it. And he's if I remember correctly, his name was...
He's a bitch motherfucker!
Yeah, it was Alice. It was Alistair. Yeah. Alistair, as he's playing, for you guys, but he's looking right at all of you with this half smile on his face. He's like, come dance, come sing, come join the merry, just yada, 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 and, but every last one of you managed to pull yourselves out of that and return back through the hole, back into the room you were just in.
At words.
Yeah.
That would have not helped.
You guys go like, you guys, yeah. You all go back in there, and Cassifane like looks at you guys, and he's like, "What was that?"
Lame.
Something that's very annoying. Should have killed it when we had the chance.
It's like there is. He's like, "Why do I get the distinct impression that you knew exactly what had just happened?"
Ah.
Otis
Okay.
is just wait for the other opening.
Otis is like, "Forget this."
I just went out. I went out of here. I went out of here.
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of, littleism?
What?
Yeah.
Mindok is like checking his mind blank spell is still up, and he's like, "Why was it so hard to focus?"
Yeah, we're gonna get back, and Sebastian's gonna kick us in the ass because it's gonna have been like 20 years have fucking gone by. He's gonna be like, "Don't you know that the world is on fucking fire because demons from butt fucking sand desert place is invading?" And I'm gonna be like, "No, I don't know that at all."
No, I did notice the rotting corpses and the buildings on fire. Thank you very much.
I mean, that's about all I know about this situation. You know? So, let's make haste. Follow Otis. Other hole. Let's see. We're going to peek our head in there, and it's going to be like, "You're in the nine hells!" And we're going to be like, "Oh, well, I guess,
Oh,
I guess we're fucked if we do, and we're fucked if we don't."
Big fucking facts.
So, yeah. So you guys,
I love Android getting annoyed.
no. You guys walk into this. Okay, so there's no need for a roll, right? There isn't a need for one. Each one of you, when you come into this room, you find something different. You're not with each other anymore.
Oh.
That's happened.
So we gotta do this one at a time. You ready?
Wonderful.
We'll start with we'll start with Otis. Otis, you find yourself in front of the great tree in High Forest. Surrounded by other halflings, people that you grew up with, halflings that you grew up with, halflings that you know, halflings who more than likely grew up to become druids because, you're the cleric, but most halflings either grow up to become like shopkeepers or whatever there, or they become druids. And you recognize them, and they're all sitting around laughing, kicking a can, playing kick the can with one another, while you're sitting there laughing and clapping your hands. And sitting next to you is Obad High, and it just reminds you of when you were young. Before all of this, it takes you back to that time before you knew the inglorious few, before you were set out on your quest. You're here with Obad High, and he's here with you, and you're with your family and your friends in High Garden, in front of the High Tree. Zoltan, you find yourself in your home in Drow City in the underworld, only you're surrounded by your family. You don't have the marking of the hourglass on you at all. You're not even wearing any of your like druidic armor, none of your weapons or anything. You're sitting at a table, and in the kitchen you can hear your mother humming an old drow tune as she cooks supper for you and the others, which normally a lot of houses get slaves to do this for them, mainly males. It's not very common that the women do this, but your mother was one of those people who liked to cook for her family, who liked to take care of them, and you feel your heart swell because you remember that time with your mother as you're sitting there laughing and cracking jokes with some of your cousins and the others who live amongst your house. There's no sense of danger, no hint of it whatsoever. You don't feel like you're hiding in fear from the drow. You feel accepted. You feel like you belong. And your mother's alive and she's here. Agaragis. Well, before we get to Agaragis, let's do everybody else first. You Quill. You find yourself sitting upon a throne in your country, Andes Dulai. At your feet lay hundreds of dead Damphir. You have conquered all of them. You have taken back the power and given it to the humans. No longer do you all live at their feet. All around you are women laughing and giggling. Some stroke your chest, some rub your shoulders, some are feeding you grapes as you sit there in your kingly posture with a goblet in your hand as you're drinking from it, looking upon everyone. Out in the crowd, you can see your mother and your son standing there. Your mother nodding in approval, smiling up at you like, that's my boy. Your son is big and he's strong just like you. And you sit there and drink from your goblet. You are the conqueror. You know, in your other hand, you have the handle of iron Eros with its blade drove into the ground. And you look upon the multitudes as they are all shouting your name. You know, you are the champion. Quill, 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 Quill. You know? Mindoc. Yours is kind of a strange one. You find yourself back in Emerald. But you find yourself in a library, surrounded by books. Some are pretty known, some are lesser known, and some are only known to you. And you sit there reading them and learning their depths, their knowledge. And every once in a while, somebody comes in and knocks on the door, and they come in and they ask your advice about something or ask you of some kind of knowledge or something forbidden, and you tell them, but at the price. And they always bring you some kind of trinket, some kind of relic, something that heralds you as the master of all knowledge. You know, you're quite content in this because you know that gods and kings search for your advice. That there is no one who can stand up to your ability, not just your knowledge, not just your knowledgeable ability, but your magic prowess as well. All things are yours, as it were. You know it all, you show it all, and you tell it all, but only to those who you deem worthy. Android. You find yourself actually at a campfire with Solar on your shoulder as you play on your fiddle. You're not dressed up all fancy like Lord Android Frizen or anything. This is you're You're just hanging out as comfortable as you can. The weight of the world is no longer on your shoulders, and Solar sits there and hums to your music and everything, and you look over and you see Tyrone sitting across from you, smiling, telling you a joke. You know? And you crack jokes with him as well. And some people pass by and they ask you to play them a tune, so you play them a tune and they toss you some coin, and as they're tossing you the coin, Tyrone moves with quick reflexes and catches a few in his hand and pockets them and says, half is mine. Goes and sits back down and he starts telling you more jokes, and you just sit there, and you suddenly you hear the bellowing laugh of Timothy Lovegood as he comes walking up. He's like, "Oh, what are you heathens doing now?" And he sits down, and you guys are like, "What are you up to, Timothy?" And he's just like, "Oh, I had to go and, smite the wicked," and you guys all just laugh, and it takes you back. Agaragis, you find yourself in the Mushroom Forest. The one place that you love the most. You're cultivating your plants and doing your horticulture, and you feel at complete peace. There's no burden of having to complete some mission or portray one person or this person. You feel at complete rest. Finally, whatever it is you had to do is over. And your reward is you get to come and sit here and be with your plants once more. Zugdemoy is no longer disappointed with you. It seems like everything is as it should be. You can be happy again. You're a part of the Myconids. You're a part of the group once more. You're connected to them. You no longer feel alone, and it's all okay. I'm just gonna ask every single one of you, who about this feels like something is wrong?
Well,
Otis.
You, Quill, Otis, anybody else?
I would say Garricus kind of, you know what I mean? It's one of those that he's really at peace, but he's kind of like, but where are my friends?
Nice.
I'm
Anybody?
going to say Android is perfectly
Content.
I'm going to say Android is the contrarian here. He's perfectly like, oh yeah. Where's the harm? You know?
It seems legit.
Yeah, I'm with Android. This kind of hit Zoltan, and Zoltan's gonna try to enjoy it.
It's like, where's the harm? You know. Where's the harm in this picture? What's wrong with us?
So Otis, Uquill, and Agaragis all feel like, like
this ain't right.
This just
This
isn't
is cool, but it ain't right.
all right. Oh, my doc. Yeah, my doc.
No, I'm thinking. I'm having daydreams. Or
Yeah, I knew that one was gonna. Yeah, I knew it too. His was. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I'm gonna tell you all. His was the hardest one to think about, and I said, "I know, I know what will do it. I know what will do it."
But yeah, it depends on what questions link up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take that as Zoltan, Android, and Mindoc are all content. Uquill, Otis, and Agaragis, however, as much as you guys like this, you know that this just isn't right.
It's like this is lit, but not.
Yeah, this
We're
just
not there yet.
This just isn't
We're
right.
not there yet.
And so instinctively, you all, like each one of you on your own accord, just stand up and begin walking. And as you guys walk, all of a sudden you find yourself standing in one of those plain square rooms once more, with one singular door in front of you. And Cassifane is standing there, and he looks at you three, and he's like, oh, good. I was worried we had lost you. He goes, where's the others?
I was gonna look around like, oh,
Big facts.
Yeah. So. Great.
so we came through a door or just another just opening.
You just like when you came into this room, you found yourselves there, and now all of a sudden you find yourselves here.
So there's just a wall behind us.
There's the door you came in at.
If I were to stick my head through the door, would I see what I left from, or?
Oh, I see what, yeah, like you stick your head into the hole, and it's dark. It's dark in there, like you would have to go back into that hole to go back into that room. See what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I would end up back in by the where I was, or if I'd end up somewhere different.
Oh yeah, no, you would be back where you.
All right. Otis is going to pull out the Eye of Grumsh and try to focus on Android to see if he can see him.
Okay. All right. So, and you begin to focus on the Eye of Grumsh, and you're focusing on Android.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Again, it's like you're looking through a portal that looks like the shape of an eye, and all around that shape, it's blurry. You know what I'm saying? But through that one little slit that looks like an eye, you can see perfectly. And you see Android sitting there laughing and talking with Timothy and Tyrone. Making merriment.
All right. I'm going to switch over to focusing on Zoltan.
Same thing, only you see him like surrounded by Drow as his mother brings him like a plate of food and kisses him on the cheek and pats him on the shoulder, and there's all these other Drow just sitting there laughing with him, and they're all just sitting there talking and stuff. It looks like a cozy little scene.
Okay. He's going to disconnect from the eye and just assume that probably something similar is happening to Mindoc.
All right, your hand begins to shake and you disconnect from the eye just before your arm begins to like get, just before your forearm begins to get sore on you again.
That's also a reason why I disconnected early, because I didn't want to go through pain.
Again.
So, next, get the ring. A dot.
Do. Hello, Otis.
Can you connect me to the divine line?
She says, of course. And then all of a sudden, peace be with you, Otis. How may I help you?
You think you can get me in connected to Android?
Says, of course. Android, you're sitting there cracking jokes with Tyrone and them, and all of a sudden your ring begins to glow. It's a vroom, and you hear the automated voice of Coralon. Android, Otis Hirokin is trying to contact you at the moment. Shall I let him through?
No, at that android's kind of starts to come out of his haze, and he looks around, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, this isn't right." He kind of picks up the line, and he's like, "Otis,
Yo, where are you?
good question. I didn't even realize. Kind of felt like I was asleep."
Well, to leave, just get up and start walking. We also have a problem. Minddog and Zoltan isn't here either, and I do not know how to contact them.
Oh yeah, they don't.
As you
He
guys
kind of
are,
looks at Tyrone, and he's like, "You never gave Mindoc his ring." And then he turns and keeps talking to Otis, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a problem."
Yeah, so if you could meet up with us as quick as you can so we can figure out a game plan, that'd be great.
as you
Good
guys
idea.
are having this conversation too, like instinctively, like Android, you don't even realize you've done it. You've already stood. You say that to Tyrone, and Tyrone just gives you a couple of finger guns, and he's like, "Don't you worry, buddy." And so just before you guys hang up, Android, you are already with the group. You've just been walking, and all of a sudden, and the rest of you watch as it looks like Android just manifests out of the ether, like to you guys.
Nice.
All right. So, how do we get Mindoc and Zoltan?
Very good question. Let me think on this for a moment. I know we don't have long.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what I can do real quick. How does the message spell work?
Message. That's happening.
It sends a message a short distance. That's what it does.
Yeah, can I does it work in the way where I can just send it to them like a thought thing, or is it like
Yeah.
read it?
Something I wanted to do just for flavor that I really wish I did earlier now.
It says in the spell description that you have to point at them.
That
So-
no, I'm not gonna do that. Because what would be the point?
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, if I don't have to do
just,
that,
it
then I'm
has
gonna
to be. It
And when
does
I send
have
a
to be.
message to someone I
Like,
can clearly see and talk to.
yeah, like that doesn't. Yeah, no, but it does have to be. It does have a limited range, and it's not very far. You know what I mean? Like it might say in the spell description, depending upon your like, whatever level, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? In which case, I'll allow that. But what I'm saying is what's the point? And yeah, no, and these guys are not as far away from you as you think they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna attempt to cast message and send one to Zoltan and Mindoc and be like, "It's all an illusion. Wake up. The lamp is not real." You know?
The cake is a lie.
Simulation.
The train goes backwards through the tunnel.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
The cake is a lie.
Yes.
Not the cake. Sorry.
Yeah. Whoa. So yeah, Zoltan and Mindoc, you guys get you guys each get a message from Android saying all that. How do you react?
Wait, okay, so it doesn't make like a line, it's just, yeah.
What? Oh yeah, like you can't
Okay, like
talk.
sensing the spell, there's no like line to reply, it's just like,
No, yeah, you can't reply. It's just a message, yeah.
options. But yeah, mine are kind of starts well, he sort of realizes that like despite everything, like he starts looking around for like something that would tell him like what that was and where it came from, and then it sort of leads him to a spot of like, wait, I don't know, and then he sort of looks around and just goes, yeah, this is nonsense. I must come back to it.
That's the second Mindoc realizes that again, you instinctively just get up and walk out, and you guys watch as Mindoc just manifests out of the ether with all of you.
Yay!
One more to go.
What about you, Zoltan? When you get the message from Android, what happens with you?
Zoltan looks awfully upset about that. He starts to realize that the rest of the party's not with him, and then he stands up and then hugs his mother and just tries to find a way out.
So you hug your mother, and Zoltan is the only one who, while you're hugging your mother, all of a sudden he just appears in the ether, out of the ether, and he's standing there. And it, for the rest of you, it just looks like he's hugging the air. And Zoltan, you realize that there's no one there anymore.
Yeah, the second Otis sees Zoltan, Otis is going to approach him and just kind of place a hand on him and just give him the like a sad look, like knowing, like I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna acknowledge that and then go back to being smiley and act.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Exactly.
Fucking Full Metal Alchemist. It's fucking hell of a time for it to rain.
Yeah. Yep. The Chimera. What a savage. Okay, anyways.
That's not even that scene.
That's not that
Wrong scene.
I know,
Wrong
but I'm
scene.
just thinking of like
Nope.
I'm just thinking of how sad Full Metal Alchemist is. I could name 100
Bro,
things out of
the
that show.
whole fucking show.
Yeah.
People sleep on the very beginning, like when Homegirl fucking starts telling them about the alchemist stuff. Like she
Yeah.
got so fucked, and everybody's like, "Oh, they did it." Dude, that was." Anyways,
He
Far
made
going
it.
to fucking
He
tangent.
made it to the phone booth. He made it to the phone booth. Anyways.
ah!
No,
Yeah.
Dude, he snapped. He literally snapped.
I was like, man. Anyways, all right. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this right now. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah,
So
those aren't tears. That's blood.
there is only one door in this room that you guys see now, other than the one you came in at that Otis like peeked through the tunnel. But there is an actual door here. Castafane's just looking at the door and he goes, out of all the rooms, this one was the most sinister.
But it's going to nod in agreement and then make a beeline toward the door.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Like, fucking want out of here.
He's like, I wonder why. He's like, what happened to you guys? He goes, we came through here and then you guys were suddenly gone. And I was just standing here like, oh, maybe they'll be back.
Oh, I was at a campfire with some old friends that I haven't seen in a long time. And it was just very tempting to stay. It was very comfortable, like being in a nice dream, like when you're really deep asleep. I didn't even realize it was happening.
He uses peaceful memories against us, is what happened.
Yuko looks at both of them, and it was like...
Yuko and like tilt his head like, yours wasn't peaceful?
Define peace. I brought the peace.
Precisely.
Like
You love?
he's like your heart's desire. Oh, interesting.
And anyway, door.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, door. I'm eager to get out of here.
He's like, huh. That's why it didn't get me. And he opens
Yuko
up.
looks at him, he's like, wait, what?
He knows no peace. That one kind of makes Android chuckle a little bit. He's like, that's dark.
He's like, I'm exactly where I want to be. And he opens up the door and yeah. He opens up the door and when he opens up the door, you guys see you guys go through the door. As you're going through the door, you come out of a tunnel and you see that you are you come out of a wall and you realize you've made it out of the mouth of madness. And you are back. Yeah. Let me tell you, you guys almost effed up a couple of times. I was looking at this map going, oh my gosh, if they go that way, we're gonna be here a while.
I blame you, Ian.
Despite himself, Mime Dog lets out a sigh of relief.
Yeah. In front of you, you are in a giant cavern, and in front of you there is a large pool of water.
Agua.
And you realize you have. I'm sorry. What?
Oh, can I scan around for any immediate threats?
How do you want to scan it?
I just listen, look around.
You can roll a spot and a listen if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, true. Fair enough. So listen.
So well, I'll tell you this. You don't, it is deathly quiet. Too quiet. All except for this one pond that seems to have a waterfall, a small waterfall just trickling out of the rock fissure down into the pool, just keeping it. And you guys realize this is the watering hole that those dudes wanted us to find. This is the spot that the Myconids were wanting. This is what we've been looking for.
I was worried we weren't going to find it. Okay. Well.
Now what?
What now?
Are we supposed to bring this to him, or
carry the whole watering hole?
you carry the entire watering hole back with us?
We'll just put it all in my bag of holding. It'll be okay.
No, you can.
It'll be fine. We were supposed to find the lottery.
See what I mean? This could have been really bad for you. It could have been really bad.
We would have been fine.
Yeah. I was like, man, if they start going too right, it's gonna take forever. if they start hanging too many rights, we're in for it for a while. But
good thing because it's Android's usual choice to hang right, so it's a good thing I didn't choose all of those.
So
and I usually hang that.
Yeah. So with that said, yes. Castlefane comes walking up and he's like, don't worry about that. Now that we know where this is, we'll just bypass the whole thing. And he pulls out a mirror and begins tapping on it, and you guys see Lord Varen's image appear on it, and he's like, "Yes, Castlefane? What do you have to report?" And he's like, "Oh, it's not me, sir. Here." And he tosses it over to you, Android. He's like, "Give him the good news."
Oh, we found the watering hole that the Myconid were looking for.
He says,
We made it through the mouth of madness, I guess is the report.
says a mouth of madness.
I suppose. I think that's what they called it.
Says, interesting. And here I had thought those were just myths. You all actually traveled through one and survived.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah. What he said was not fun.
Lord Varen's just like, well, tell
What year is it?
Huh?
Oh no, that's tricky. I said, what year is it?
No shit. How long has it been?
Says, oh, I don't know.
Actually, a very good question.
Probably about a week or so since I sent you guys out. I was half expecting you all to be dead.
Nah,
Wow.
a week isn't.
Rude.
A week isn't just awful.
He's like, well, I had given Castlefane strict instructions that should you all fall, he was to run back and report to me. So I knew that if I hadn't seen him, that you all were still alive.
Fair enough.
He's like, so, I mean, take heart in that. He goes, tell Castlefane to carry out Order 66. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, tell Castlefane to create a channel.
Castlefane create a channel. Kind of raises an eyebrow.
Says like a suggestion.
Yeah, Castlefane's like, yes, sir. And he walks over to just like a single wall and pulls out some liquid out of his pocket and starts jabbing a hole in the wall, just cutting out like a chunk of it, and then pours some of the liquid in there. It begins to burn into the wall. Then he pulls out this like weird looking little slug thing, stuffs it in the wall. Like, all right, it'll be connected within T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, and then you guys watch as a vein begins to just appear in the wall and just flow out across the wall and vanish into the corner of the wall you guys came in through.
You.
He says, okay, we should be able to travel easily now.
Oh,
Lord Varen says, good job. Now just take care of any of the things that may be guarding that watering hole, and yeah. Well, I'll
Sorry, what?
you know. Well, there's a reason why that this hole has been blocked off. You guys didn't just think that this thing would be. And while he's explaining this, I want everybody to roll a listen.
Hey,
Can I also roll a spellcraft to try and, like, decipher what precisely the mechanics of that were?
Yeah, you sure can.
What?
It is not. It is not magical at all. It's all completely organic. It was all completely organically done.
Huh.
Everybody else roll a listen.
Oh.
A listen.
No.
I fucking did.
Wait, how does this work? I keep forgetting I can do one for Crow.
Good grief, Zoltan.
What?
Just high.
Number.
That was just good. Yeah, that was just really good.
I just like I like listening to things.
Yeah. While this conversation is happening, Android and Zoltan are the only two who take note of something that sounds extremely wet. It's kind of like it's making like a suction noise. It's trying it's trying extremely. It's attempting to creep up on you guys, but just the sound of the slosh and the coming towards you takes your attention away. And Android, you're the one holding the mirror, but you, Zoltan, you turn completely around, and Android, you just kind of look to the side, and you guys see massive tentacles coming up out of the water at you guys, trying to creep in your direction extremely slowly.
Terrible. You cool smash.
Wait. Huh.
Equal uses. What that shit about?
Yeah. Yeah, Android's gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. So you pointed out to the rest of the group?
No,
You
Yeah.
understand?
Let that shit.
Why are you fools looking ass?
Yeah. So it's about this time that you point that out, and Lord Varen's like, "Oh, good, you found it. All right. Well, Castlefane, you know what to do. Good day, Android. Travel back when you're done." And then, boom, the picture on the mirror disappears, and you guys like look just in time to see Castlefane like disappear into the hole and just travel down the vein.
What the fuck?
Awesome.
This son of a bitch.
What a dick.
Wow.
Suck fucking.
Meanwhile, you guys are standing there. It's about that time too that you like yell that out, like, guys, you know, all that the tentacles stop and kind of shake for a minute, registering the fact that you're like yelling at everybody. And that's when you see the pool all of a sudden grow teeth.
Oh, nice.
Teeth come out of the edges of it, and all these tentacles just come flying out of the pool. Agaragos and Uquil, you guys have seen this before. It's what Dodd called a dark maw. It almost pulled Agaragos down into its depths once, and Uquil, you had to jump down there to inevitably.
Yeah, Uquil's cussing right now. He's like, motherfucker.
Lame.
Yeah, it just comes bursting out, and the tentacles come. Yeah, Uquil, and you realize that's just its mouth. That's not even like the whole thing. Like, you remember down in the water that it's actually attached to a much larger creature that
Equals on that. Kill it.
yeah, that you and Agaragos had managed to stun long enough to get away from the first time. Whether or not this is the same one or not, you can't be for sure, but you know, yeah, but you've experienced this thing before. And it just comes bursting up out of the water with, you know, tentacles just whipping around, and its teeth it's just quaking. It's just spurting water up out of its mouth, and its, circular maw just full of razor sharp teeth is just, clenching. It's just quivering.
What a terrible thing to be happening.
What a
Yay, tentacle monster.
What a terrible night to have a curse.
Man, you ain't shitting.
And that's actually where we're going to stop tonight's session.
Oh.
We are going to stop it at the beginning of this fight.
Why?
We can go switch later.
Yeah, we can, but we can't. I've got things I got to do in the morning, and it's just better this way.
Lame.
I know. I am so sorry. I know. But don't worry. Next week we'll come back, and you guys will get to have this highly, highly terrible and ridiculous fight. And one which I hope you all enjoy. And
something tells me I'm not going to.
In no way, shape, or form hate your DM over by the end of it.
Yeah, not at all.
Why'd I ever do that?
Excellent.
This won't go horribly for like the whole group. So.
I'm gonna summon a meteor.
Yeah. We're just gonna hit it with everything. Yeah, so next week we will pick up there at the look at it this way. You're like, almost to your objective of what you guys are ultimately trying to do.
Are we though?
Well, you still have to hunt down the Neolithid and get Zoltan's time frame back. So there's that.
Oh yeah.
Look at it that way. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
He don't need it.
Yeah, he don't need it.
You don't need it.
Different.
We're done. We are done with the underworld. You don't understand. We're done.
If you want it so badly, you can get it.
We have been through too much here.
Lots of
Yeah.
things have been happening that are not good.
I'm having a good time. I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah.
Of course you are.
I love the underworld. I love this place.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, what you do.
With that said, I guess we better do our outro, huh? Danielle? Yeah, so I wanna thank all you Golden Wonders out there who have joined us for another session of Adventures in Loxos. Thank you all so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Share it around. Who knows? We might blow up. We might become that. What do you call it? That alternative D&D group. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. But regardless.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, but regardless, I want to thank all them Golden Wonders out there, and I love y'all. To them old school gamers, thank you all again for having me as your DM. I know I put you guys through a lot. I know I say this every week, but I am fortunate to have a group who puts up with as much as you guys put up with from me.
Big facts.
I do. I do put you guys through a lot. So, yeah. I mean, couldn't ask for a better group. So with that all said and done, I love everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you guys for playing. And y'all come back now. Stay golden. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Go to church,
Good
y'all
night.
need Jesus.
Good night.
No.